Okay, guys, let's talk in-text citations. So, we are going to go back to the owl at Purdue. And so I'm going to type in the owl at Purdue MLA. Purdue MLA. And, okay, let me see my screen. Okay, let's see. All right, and I'm going to go to the style guide again. And this time, last video, we went through the overview of the style guide. Now let me clean up my screen here. We're going down to in-text citations, the basics. Okay, gotta move my screen again. All right. So again, we have a source citer should you need it. But in-text citation rules. Okay, so now a couple of things about in-text citations. We of course have to cite anything that you are quoting, but you always have to cite information that you got, even if you have put it in your own words. So for example, if you want to talk about where Rupi Kaur has come from and what her background was like, even if you put it in your own words, you didn't know that yourself. That was not common knowledge. You read that somewhere. So you have to tell us where you read that. And you have to give credit in an in-text citation, even if there is no quotation. Okay, so let's scroll down and take a look at this. All right, so we're going to start with any in-text citation that has an author. Now, that means if you're on the web and you're reading an article on the web, if there is an author, then this is what we use. So I'm going to go through these examples here because I think that they're pretty good. And there are a number of ways to use this. One is the first one that we've got here with Wordsworth stated that romantic poetry was marked by a spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. Okay, so in this case, we have Wordsworth, who is the one who we read this from. Okay, he wrote what we're reading. Wordsworth this is called author stated in a signal phrase. So Wordsworth is in this sentence, so it's identifying the author. Therefore, in the parenthetical, we do not need to put Wordsworth. We just need to put the page number. Because if we go to our works cited page, we're still going to go to Wordsworth because he is stated in the signal phrase. Now, one thing to know about stating the author in the signal phrase, it's important that the author when you state them in the signal phrase, the author needs to have some significance greater than just being the author. So, for example, think about anything that is on many of our web pages and is written by any kind of article that's about politics or fashion or something. Let's take fashion. Okay, if it's a Kardashian stating it, then it's worth it to state the Kardashian in the signal phrase. If it's me, Sarah O'Hara, talking about fashion, then do not use me in a signal phrase because my name is not important enough to be in the signal phrase. When it's in the signal phrase, it's because they have something to author or some kind of expertise and are known characters. So if it's just an article that's written by about Rupi Kaur, but it's by Joe Blow, well then don't put them in the signal phrase that's when they go in the parenthetical itself. Okay, so next example. Romantic poetry is characterized by the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. This is the kind of quote we use most often. And this one is the most typical of what we would use. Now, in both of these cases, we have page numbers. It is rare in our essays that we are using page numbers because we're not using textbooks. We're mostly using online sources. So, in that first one, even if it said Wordsworth stated that romantic poetry was marked by a spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings, if we have no page number, we have no parenthetical citation because you've already stated Wordsworth. In the second one, we've got Wordsworth 263. In this case, if we were getting it off the web, it would just be Wordsworth. There would be no page number. Okay, I'll keep going and I think this will get clearer. Then the last one, Wordsworth extensively explored the role of emotion in the creative process. In this case, we have paraphrased, but again, most of us don't know that Wordsworth explored the role of emotion. So therefore, we had to get it from somewhere else. So therefore, we have to cite it. This is not common knowledge. It's not something you knew already yourself. If you don't know it and you get it from somewhere else, you must cite it. And this is the way to do that. Okay, I'll keep going. Now, let's go down. All right, now, here we see the citation that would be on the works cited page. And it's Wordsworth William, Lyrical Ballads, Oxford, and I don't even know what UP stands for, 1967. Okay, one of the most important things that I have to tell you, and that is the most important thing in terms of what I am going to grade, is that always, 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 your in-text citation must match your works cited. And by that, what I mean here, so let me use my cursor here. Do you see that Wordsworth is who we're talking about, and Wordsworth is who we're talking about, and Wordsworth is who we're talking about? Okay, that means that on the works cited page, I'm going to look for Wordsworth. Now, had you put in up here William Wordsworth right here, William Wordsworth, if you had put that right here, and then I've got Wordsworth William, this would be wrong. Okay, because I'm going to look, if you put William here, I'm going to look for William. But I'm not looking for William, I'm looking for Wordsworth. I'm going to keep covering this as we go along. Let's do a couple more examples. Okay, let's see. This is a known author. Okay, this is the same thing I was talking about with Kardashian. Okay, makeup has been described as Kim Kardashian as this. Okay, that's why we would use her name in here. If it was makeup was described as Sarah O'Hara as blank, we would put O'Hara over here because nobody thinks of me as a makeup guru, right? Let's see. I'm going to keep going down. All right. So next, what if we don't have an author? Okay, easy peasy, people. You just do the next thing. And the next thing is going to be the title of the article. And so in this case, the title of our article is The Impact of Global Warming. So here's our example. We see so many global warming hotspots in North America, likely because this region has more readily accessible climate data and more comprehensive programs to monitor and study environmental change. And this is from the impact of global warming. So after the author's name comes the title of the article. If we don't know who wrote the article, then we just go to the next thing, which is the title. And again, notice that our periods are always on the outside. Okay, here's a little thing that I bet you don't know, and probably you don't want to know because who really cares about this stuff? But let me show you. So do you see the use of the ellipsis here? All right, the ellipsis, this is actually a formatting thing. So after the E, it's space, dot, space, dot, space, dot, space. And then we have one period over here at the end that signifies the end of the sentence. Okay? So this means that the end of the sentence is where we stopped. So this period here is the fourth period in the ellipsis. I'll come back to that in a little while, but this is space, dot, space, dot, space, dot, space. Okay. Next, again, whatever is in your in-text citation must be exactly what's the first thing in your works cited. So notice that we have impact with quotation marks. So here it's impact with quotation marks. And they only use part of it because you don't have to use the whole thing, but they put the quotation marks in. So this impact, starting with an I, must match over here. And in this one, the reason the is in there is because the and a don't count in a works cited. Okay, lots of details here, I know. All right, let's go down to multiple additions. Okay, we're not going to cover that because that doesn't really happen for us much. Let's see, these are some more details, but what I will tell you is that you already have the databases, and fortunately you already have your in-text and your works cited for the databases. So that would sort of be what we're talking about along with multiple additions and things like that. So we're not going to spend much time on this part. All right, authors with same last names. Okay, in this case, we're not, I'm going to skip this one because this is assuming there were two Hemingways that are unrelated. That's not our case. But we do have citing a work, here's citing a work by multiple authors. Okay, I'm going to let you look at that one yourself because that's not one that we cover often. But we do want to cover, and it is covered in here so you can find it. But here we might have multiple works by the same author, in particular Hemingway. So if we're using two Hemingway stories, let's say we are using A Clean, Well-Lighted Place, and we are also using The Old Man and the Sea in the same story. Shout out to my man Marley there, who is using The Old Man and the Sea. If we're using two Hemingway sources, then this is going to tell us how to do it. All right, and this one is a little different than MLA 7 was, but it's going to use, in this case, it's using author stated in the signal phrase. So let's look at this. Leitner has argued that computers are not useful tools for small children. And then here's the name of the article. So let's think about this as Hemingway. Hemingway has argued that women are the downfall of men. Okay, and then we would go to A Clean, Well-Lighted Place and put that in as our citation because that's the story. Okay, though he is acknowledged, okay, though he is acknowledged elsewhere that he loves women and he married multiple of them, okay? And this would come from maybe another source that Hemingway did. So we've used two Hemingway sources with one signal phrase. Okay, let's see. Here are some other examples, and again, these are not that common, so I'm going to let you figure this out on your own. It just means you got to go through, read it, and then you will be able to you know now where to find the answer. Volumes. Okay, here's a good one. Citing the Bible. Okay, so I'm not going to go cover it right now, but if you want to know if you're using the Bible in your essay, great. But here is how to cite it. Okay, citing indirect sources, citing transcript plays or screenplays, citing non-print or sources from the internet. Okay, lots more here. I'm just scrolling past these. The one you might find useful is going to be the one if you use my website. Multiple citations. When a citation is not needed. Oh, it's not in here. Okay. If you use my website, I think it's going to be on the next video. So I'm going to stop here. I've showed you where to find the information. I haven't covered everything, but now you should know where to find this information. And so I am going to stop here and let you look at this, and hopefully it answers most of your questions. And then if it doesn't, I will be happy to work with this in class, on our Zoom or on our office hours. Bye!